We are the restaurant brokers, and we sell restaurants.
We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm over a decade ago.
Atlanta, Georgia was our starting point, but our brand is spreading nationwide. We define restaurant brokerage and help buyers just like these.
Our dream, our goal, open up a restaurant, loving life, serving people breakfast and lunch, and then enjoying the rest of the day with them and ourselves.
Buying an existing restaurant, leasing a closed restaurant space, or purchasing a restaurant franchise. We help buyers satisfy their appetite for acquisition.
I'm part of a husband and wife team with this fella.
Working with my wife has been a lot of fun. The ultimate goal for everybody here is to make this work. And because we have different strengths, we bring different angles to the deal.
The process begins with our powerhouse website, WeSellRestaurants.com, where buyers sign online confidentiality agreements and browse restaurants for sale.
Then we send buyers undercover to check out a restaurant and decide if it's the right one for them.
Buyers get our proprietary business analysis tool with all the financial details on the business for sale.
After studying the restaurant inside and out, it's back to our office.
We're deal makers. We write contracts and negotiate terms for buyers and sellers. That's why we sell more restaurants than any other firm in the nation. We are the restaurant brokers. Our name says it all. That sound means you are back on the air with the restaurant brokers, Eric and Robin Gagnon, and today has been really an interesting show, Eric. We had the tables turned on us because we have had Karen from Fran Systems really guest hosting and asking questions about our franchise. So now it's restaurant reality time, and I really think that dovetails into the conversation we've been having because we deal with a lot of folks who want to buy a restaurant every single week, every single day in this business. But the reality is there are a lot of folks listening that would be an excellent candidate to become a restaurant broker, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a very broad field that we can look at. You know, people that we talk about that want to retire but not ready quite to go play golf every day or read a book on the beach. You may have some people that are looking at different brands out there at the restaurant, but they're like, hey, I just don't have enough capital, and I really don't want to go into debt to purchase a restaurant franchise. This would get you as close as you can to the action. I'm actually being part of the action and be able to get in. So that's another group of people. We talk about millennials, young people. I mean, this is a great opportunity for the ground level to somebody to start up, their own business and get a great career for a long time, and have agents under them and grow their We Sell Restaurant franchise if they wanted to.
Yeah, the reality of the business is we deal with a lot of folks who come to us after the fact that maybe they're corporate refugees, and that's a big piece of our client base. And they bought into a franchise, and they went out and they spent an enormous amount of capital, $300,000 or so.
Yeah.
And then they built it up, and then they got done, and they're like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to be making sandwiches the rest of my life. But the service piece of the We Sell Restaurants brand takes that entire piece off the table. The other kinds of advantages are capital. The capital, there's none required, literally none required, because you don't have to build a building. You don't have to put up signage. You don't have to have employees. You don't have these worries about, what are the Obamacare, what are the regulations, or what are the minimum wage components. You can be literally a one-man shop up to a 5 or 10-man shop and still maybe only have one employee and the balance independent contractors. Karen, are those some of the reasons why we're seeing so much growth on the service side of the franchise industry?
Yes, if you look at talk about the reality of the restaurant industry, and I'll talk about the reality of the franchise industry, and there are 4 main categories for franchising, and that is retail, restaurant, hotel, and service. If you look at the first 3 being retail, bricks and mortars, outlet. If you look at a restaurant, again, bricks and mortars, you're building something. Hotels kind of in their own category because it's so unbelievably, expensive that's just kind of in their own world, but they're still considered a major category in franchising. Service came along, and it's always been involved over the past, 75 years of franchising. But when the baby boomers really stepped out and said, this is not the life that I want a lifestyle change, they looked at these 4 categories and immediately went to service thinking it's a lower level investment. I can have the lifestyle, that I want. And so we've seen major multi-unit franchisees purchase into the restaurants, several restaurants, decide to sell those restaurants and purchase into a service franchise where their lifestyle is different and they just don't have as many moving parts and pieces or the investments. So the two realities are coming together.
I think that's absolutely true. You know, I will never forget the first year that our franchisee in South Florida was in our system, and he called us right after Christmas. We were kind of having our before New Year's discussions, and he said, I just want to thank you guys. This is the first Thanksgiving and Christmas I have spent with my family in the last 25 years, because he came out of the restaurant business, and he was so grateful for that opportunity, and he truly did change his life to get from behind the counter to in front of the counter. And the great thing is you're not selling someone something. We say that we're in the sales business, but it really is a service to the industry, because when people call on us, they have a need, and we're able to fulfill whatever that need is and help them out. It's very satisfying. It's very emotional. And I tend to work with a whole lot of buyers, and there are so many nights that I go home and I'm just so thankful that I've gotten to know these people and gotten to know their story and their life and what it is that they are attempting to achieve, and help them get that satisfaction and achieve that goal. Eric, what do you think?
I know I was speaking recently to a potential franchisee candidate, and he had looked at buying a restaurant, because a lot of them will look at that, and he's considering very seriously becoming a We Sell Restaurant franchisee. And he said, Eric, you told me something that very resonated with me. He said, if I buy a restaurant, what from you or not from you, he said, one way or the other, I will still see you, either at the beginning or at the end. We still will see you. So, you know, as restaurant brokers, we see that a lot. I mean, whether you buy one with us, but eventually you want to get out of it, you will still need our services. So, it resonated with him that, you need a broker as part of your team. When we talk about assembling a team when you're buying a restaurant, or you're a multi-unit or a single unit, you have a CPA, you have an attorney. I think it makes sense for you to have a restaurant broker alongside with you, whether you're going to look for a new site or you want to sell this business, or you need a resource, because we're big in educating, and we have so many resources around us of people to help you being successful, because we understand that the more money you make, the more profitable you are when you want to sell. That is more profit for We Sell Restaurant as well.
I also want to talk a little bit, because Karen, we talked about this quickly in the second segment, about the reality of marketing on your own and what happens when you are associated with a brand like We Sell Restaurants, because the world of marketing is so expensive now. It's so difficult. And what we have done with the We Sell Restaurants brand is really develop this brand identity that transcends there's someone to sell your restaurant. We've tried to be a resource for folks. We have tried to set out in our blog and with our book and in all of the writing and the appearances and the speeches and with this radio show to really teach and mentor the industry. And for that reason, we've developed so much credibility that folks will come to us, they'll learn from us for years and years and years, and then that subsequently turns into an opportunity for them to either buy or sell the business. And at that point, then they're coming to us. And for someone on their own starting out, trying to build a brokerage business, or just trying to start on their own, not having that brand identity and not having that expertise and that kind of a footprint in both the social media and the online marketplace, it takes years and years to build that credibility. And we've been at it for 14 years now.
I know we don't have much time left, but one thing that I really want to talk about is the reality of business as well. We've got a different political nature going on here. We have different governmental regulations going on here. And I believe that the service category, that's a little easier. Would you agree with that statement? Have anything to add to that?
Absolutely. When you think about it, there are absolutely no employees in the restaurant brokerage business. You can start your franchise. You can be a We Sell Restaurants franchisee and operate without an office, without a lease, without an employee. All you need is a cell phone and an internet connection and a lifeline to Eric and myself to back you up and mentor you.
And as you grow, most of your agents will be independent contractors, so you don't have to worry about any kind of labor laws, employment laws, or any kind of health care benefits and all that kind of stuff that would come along with the challenges of hiring employees nowadays.
That in and of itself is a reason to be a restaurant broker, and I think we could probably spend 10 shows talking about this, but I believe that we are out of time. Today we have spent a lot of time talking about the We Sell Restaurants brand. We operate the largest restaurant brokerage company in the nation based on the number of listings, transaction count, and volume. We are franchising nationwide and have offices in Florida, Colorado, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. Learn more about our team at WeSellRestaurants.com.